Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to CNA Weekend Recap.
We're live. Apparently.
Caught some people by surprise. So, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since we've met, and we don't have a tremendous amount to talk about. Mainly just my boy Ken's here, probably favorite franchise in the nerd world. Maybe, I don't know if that's a bold claim. Looking at your nerd cave, I don't think it is.
It's not.
I have a lot of Ninja Turtles. That's what I like the turtles.
So the Ninja Turtle movie came out. New take for new generation, but done by an old soul and Seth Rogen, someone that came up when we did mostly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's a fan. You could tell he was a fan.
Yeah.
Everybody worked on it was a fan, clearly.
It was a good movie. You know, we loved a lot about it. There were things we did not like about it. But I will kick it to Ken to take over.
I'm excited. I'm glad it exists. I'm happy that it exists. It's a great fresh start on an evergreen product. You know, Ninja Turtles have been around, will probably be around forever. They're one that just keeps getting rehashed. But this was rehashed for the current generation, the 8 to 15-year-olds now. This is who they are. These teenagers were who they are. These are, I mean, I watch my daughter. She goofs off with her friends the same way these teenagers did in this. But pop culture references were spot freaking on. I mean, come on, man. That was some good shit in that movie. I chuckled quite a bit. It was very funny. Very funny. I've got a few nitpicks. I mean, if y'all care to hear it, I'll share them. But, I mean, I'm never a fan of the turtles learning ninjutsu from a book and television. You know, that's Michael Bay did that crap, or Splinter found a book in the sewer and he taught them how to kick ass. It's like, and then they completely erased the Asian connection, completely entirely. You know, even though Splinter was played by a Chinese dude, they immediately erased his Japanese heritage and there's no Hamato Yoshi. I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. It's just, he was just a sewer rat from New York that just has a Chinese accent.
I knew when I was watching it that like, Ken's gonna hate that.
Right.
Come on, Jackie Chan. Let's go.
I mean, he did a great job. He was, but I mean, my biggest problems are what they did to my boy Splinter.
Yeah.
I mean, that just, I like it how he was the dad and he cared about his boys and all that, but at the same time, it was like, come on, man.
Hey, in the end, he was just looking for love.
Yes, he was. And he found it all right.
All the wrong places.
I can't stop hearing the sound of him making out with the bug woman. God,
She was not a bug woman. She was like Swamp Thing, basically.
Oh, so gross. But you know, otherwise, I'm happy it exists. I like it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Visually stunning. Very cool, artistic take. Didn't take me out of the film at all, which I thought at first it would, because when it started out, it was like, you know, this is a little scribbly. It's a little much,
heads were, especially human heads, were very askew. The first few you got, it took you a minute to
asymmetrical. Everything was asymmetrical, and you just kind of get used to it.
Once you accept it, 10 minutes in, it kind of disappears from your kind of paying attention to it.
The animation does take a little getting used to. I will say though, the action scenes were my favorite part of this movie. I mean, they were fluid. They just, you know, everything about them was so good. You know, I don't know if it was just the artist's decision to do them this way or if it was the artistic style, but every action scene was amazing. You know, the things that were kind of flawed in the status movie, when they got hyped up, you know, to these scenes, I thought they were amazing.
I agree.
I really did.
Yeah, a lot of cool money shots.
Yeah.
You know, them together and the camera spinning around, or they're diving in the air together. It's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ice Cube was great as Super.
A lot more cussing than I expected. I mean, there was hells and dams, and I mean, it was all over the place.
And Paul Rudd was my boy Mondo Gecko.
And that's another thing. You brought up the mutants, and that I don't like the fact that we just erased all these rich histories of all these characters that I care about, because they're all just test tube babies now, and they were raised by Superfly. You know what I mean? And we took away the rich Cajun history of Leatherhead, and I mean, it just Mondo Gecko was a surfer dude in California. You know what I mean? Just I do not like that part.
It does do away with a lot of the history of the mutants and how they were found and how they grew up. And yes, I understand that, especially for somebody who has been passionate about it for years and years.
Killed
And
Baxter
watch it.
Stockman off on the first movie too.
That can't be. I thought there'd be like a teaser at the end that showed him having been exposed and kept somewhere.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
And then Splinter tease at the end. It felt like he's just there, like, I don't know. I mean, Splinter's supposed to be like the ruler, you know, the
Shredder.
man.
Shredder.
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 No,
Yeah.
I will say they did do these. They were actually teenagers.
I like that.
Yeah, and but the voices, you know, Raph and Leonardo were great. I love them. But and we talked about this. I think Michelangelo and Donatello should have got their voice actors flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Michelangelo was not what I think of as Michelangelo. You know, he wasn't the youngest. He wasn't just kind of out there, you know, having fun. But Donatello sounded like such a child.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, he's the third born. And we talked about that.
I think he sounded like a nerd.
Maybe,
He sounded
but
super young. He sounded like a super young.
he did.
Yeah, but you know, the article came out and I shared it and we talked about it in the nerd group about how this movie was pretty much thrown together at the last minute. They wanted to make a different movie at first and they realized it wasn't working. They went back to the drawing board while in production and changed the entire movie into what we see here. Because the original movie was them in high school being accepted as mutants. Well, they're still apparently making that movie because
it seemed like we're
a sequel.
I mean, we don't even get any. I mean, they come out of the sewer, they get accepted. Now they're in high school. I want the competition with the Foot Clan and the city at war when all the mobsters and gangsters and when Shredder dies and then you know everybody's fighting for power in the underworld and
that universe.
Apparently
gosh,
not.
man, we're gonna jump right into them just in high school. And apparently Shredder's gonna be attacking them in high school.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna do now? We're gonna that's like every anime now there is.
You're in school. Deal with it.
Right. Anyways, but I'm excited for it. Happy it exists. I did enjoy it. I'm really grateful that the new generation has a shot at these characters.
Yeah.
That's my
And
review.
anything, you know, Turtles wise that we get new stuff of, we gotta be happy about, you know, because there have been some really bad versions. This was.
I don't have to be happy about it.
Okay, I know.
I keep getting screwed over by Transformers on a consistent basis.
Look, man,
Every night, opening night.
if you die before Michael Bay does, I will cremate you and throw your ashes in his face at some point. All right.
Do something different. Put it like, never mind.
No, I'm kind of curious now.
We can talk after the show. I'm just gonna. I don't want to know the airwaves.
Should we like
He
trick up?
caught himself by such a thin margin.
We don't get homicidal thoughts out on live air.
Jesus, homicide. I was just thinking of like.
I want to end this show right now so I can find out what he's talking about.
Kind of. I was like a hooker fucks him, and when he has his O face, she just pushes your ashes.
Well, there goes our family show status.
Hey,
Have you ever been a
You're all that watched this for that Ninja Turtle review is like, Mom, what does that mean?
Well, Charlie, a hooker is a woman who is on the end.
Bring it back,
And
Justin.
she has sex.
Get it under control, Justin. Get it under control.
all right. Speaking of movies, if you had any interest and you were thinking, you know, I'm going to go see a date night movie this upcoming week, and you think, let's go see The Meg 2. Don't do that.
No one thought that.
Right.
You know what? We were in a full theater.
Really? It was full?
Yes.
Wow.
Lots of people thought that.
Damn.
The girl next to me came in so hyped. She's like, everybody's telling me I gotta go see this movie. And at the end I said, what did you think of it? She said, oh man, I fell asleep. Last thing I remember, they was down in the ocean.
Isn't that the entire movie? They're in the ocean.
Got the plot setting down.
They in the ocean, I'm taking a nap.
like deep down.
Wow.
Y'all, this movie is a mess. They have figured out exoskeleton suits that allow them to go down in that trench.
Very honest.
Human people in just little bits of clothing and metal.
Because of course, why not?
But deeper than the Marianas Trench.
Like vibranium.
Right. This
I'm
movie,
pretty sure that shit would crush Black Panther.
this movie thought it was so many different things. It starts off with Statham's character basically being like the transporter, doing all kinds of jujitsu on a.
Who's he fighting?
People that are dumping toxic chemicals in the ocean.
Is that how the Meg happens? So, like, is it like a
Nope.
mutation?
It has nothing really to do except for it sets up the villain of the story, who
Is it an evil shark?
no, it's just some dude.
He's just an environmentalist hardcore now.
He's in a thing at the bottom of the trench, and they're mining for a material that is worth billions on the surface.
Unobtainium
I mean,
in the trench.
It was Avatar at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh my god. Tell me at some point.
And it has dinosaurs in it.
Does it really?
It's like
well, the
Jurassic
Meg is already a dinosaur.
Oh no, there's some of them that go
Go
on
in
the
the
ground.
trench or something?
Yeah, and they're like,
They go to like Inner Earth, like the Kong movies. I mean, is
no,
it
they
like
just
kaiju?
blow a big old hole through that fog that's keeping them locked down in the deep, and then they come up, and there's the giant squids, and there's
Like
giant
Kraken.
sharks, and then there's these little dinosaur things that get up on the land and wreak havoc at Fun Island.
Is that the actual name
While
of the
there's
amusement park?
yes.
Wow.
While there's this other guy that's in a boat screaming at the dude, I'm gonna get you for some slight, and he's firing 50 cows into a crowd, and they're being chased by sentient sharks, and at the end the guy has trained the shark, and he does a clicky click like you do with a dog, and the shark obeys him.
Click, click.
You feel? I mean, I understand there's a demographic, but they make stupid movies for stupid people. Let's just say it, and they sell. I mean, you had a full fucking crowd. They're gonna make another Meg.
I walked away from this thinking maybe the studios are right, because if this is the best that the humans can do writing, maybe we should let the robots try it.
I kind of
Argument for AI is
Yeah.
Meg 2. Holy shit.
I kind of want to see it now after that review. I'm not gonna lie.
It's, oh boy.
Sounds terrible.
So we only had Ninja Turtles to talk about, so we thought the conversation we had the other night just hanging out was really fun, so we thought we'd kind of go back to it, and it was the MCU. Television, movies has had a lot of villains, over 30 at this point, I would think. So there's been a lot of villains. So we started talking about who are the best villains in the MCU. And we had some really good answers. I think
You expect me to remember any of that? You're in trouble.
I have no recollection of this conversation whatsoever.
But
I know what number one is.
That'd be God.
Yeah.
Well,
you
off the
start us
cuff,
off,
then.
buddy.
Off the cuff, who would be your number 3?
Did we have 5?
Yeah, if I can't get you to get 5.
I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to remember something else, so you are going to say another. I'm like, I'm going to change my answer. I mean, do you have a list or something? Do you have them out?
I have it on the phone, which is recording us at the moment.
Yeah, we can't look it up.
Preparation is
Okay.
Way to go, guys.
I will go number 3 and see if I can kind of spur the conversation. Number 3 for me would be, it's a caveat. This may not technically be MCU, so if it's not, I'd have to change my answer. But for me, number 3 would be Killmonger. Not Killmonger, Purple Man from Jessica Jones.
Yeah, he was oh my god, he was a great villain. A villain that, like, people wrote weird erotic fan fiction about him.
Yeah.
That, that's uncomfortable when your villain is that good that you want him to control you and fuck you. That's
It's that whole thing, the women that dig serial killers. He had that kind of psychotic vibe.
Yeah.
David Tennant played it masterfully.
Oh, he did.
The psychological impact of a villain like that, I don't know we've seen anything like that in the MCU.
No, we really haven't.
So it's such a different note than every other villain we've had. And I'd probably put him higher if it weren't that there's a caveat. I don't even know if he's technically in the MCU. So that will be my 3.
I would say Netflix was. It's kind of a shame, actually, that he was killed and she didn't just crush his trachea and he's, in the raft and can't speak. He can come back as, And that's part of the problem with the MCU is they kill the villains off. They're really good.
They do. They do. They kill a bunch off.
Yeah.
Ken,
Let's see.
You got a number 3 yet?
I kind of yes and no. Are we doing number 3? Right
Yeah.
now? 3, the top 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just right off the cuff, and I'm going to change my answer later, and this is probably a different answer than the other night because I don't remember. But I mean, I enjoyed Namor. I really enjoyed the performance.
I agree.
Of Namor. I did. I loved how he was so driven, but he was threatening, and he was so dangerous, but he was a believer. It's like there's something special about that. This is one that's people maybe don't understand, but Ultron was always a favorite of mine. The James Spader Ultron I thought was unique. I like what Whedon did with Ultron. I like how it was like this machine that was a newborn, but he was just in pain. He was in absolute confusion. He would quote Bible verses, and he would, I don't know. I enjoyed Ultron. I like what they did with him. I think Age of Ultron is super underrated.
Got no strings to hold me down.
There are no strings on me.
And I don't remember what my number 1 was.
I think anytime.
I'm gonna kind of go. I think tonight, just because I think tonight I'll go with Wanda.
Wanda. Number 1 villain. Wow.
Yeah, I think I will. I mean, she enslaved an entire town, and then she killed many, many people in Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
she did.
Multiverse of Madness.
She bounces back and forth between hero and villain. That's a.
And at this point, there's no bouncing back and forth. She's fucking ruthless.
And if she's still alive, that other universe is coming for her.
I mean, I think we all accept she's still
She
alive.
wiped out the Illuminati.
Yeah,
They coming for her.
No kidding.
Okay,
Who
well
the
that's
fuck
interesting. This is a very different list than the other night. you got what you got?
Something I drank that night was different.
Oh God, let's see. Number 3, I think he hasn't got enough representation. I think Zemo is my number 3.
Okay.
Because it's manipulative. He has no powers. He is somebody that is behind the scenes controlling things. So I like him a lot, and he's still alive, and still has his story being told. So and he's still
got a
out
cool
there.
dance number in
He does,
too.
yeah.
Remember that?
And we still haven't seen him with the mask on. So I'm gonna go with him. Number 2.
I did see him with the mask on.
Did he put it on?
Yeah, in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I guess I just forgot that one. Number 2. Fuck. It's a hard one. I know who my number 1 is, but number 2.
Go back to number 2.
Yeah, number 1. I'm gonna go with Loki. Still, because we've all been charmed by him. He's doing his own series. Everybody loves Loki. He's this anti-hero, kind of doing his own thing. But at the flick of a switch, he could just go off and be his own self again, because this is the Loki that didn't learn his lesson. He's still the Loki who is the god of chaos.
Yeah.
And, if he can get away with it, he's going to do it. We like to think, he's on the side of the TVA and all that. Bullshit. Loki didn't work like that. That's not how it goes.
He's developed differently, though. I don't know. I'm excited about season 2.
I am too, but I don't think.
Sylvie's mullet.
It looks kind of weird. What they've released things are looking kind of strange, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
And it brings us down to one of the base questions I have always wondered my entire life. And I think it's very important that everybody consider this. If you have sex with a clone of yourself, is it masturbation or is it sex?
So my number 2 would be.
I mean, would you do you? Is that what you're asking?
Oh no, I'm horribly ugly. But
Oh God, never mind.
Version of me
Why didn't
would also probably be hardly. Maybe bagger. Hit it from behind. I do have a nice ass. That's just that.
Number 2 for me would be Red Skull from the first Captain America movie. Something about that is just very nostalgic for me. It was early in the MCU. We had gotten kind of a lukewarm villain out of both Abomination and Obadiah Stane. So he was the first like really good villain in the MCU.
Real common.
Hugo Weaving, is that his name?
Yeah.
Played the role just perfect.
They pulled the mask off.
Yes, I love that. I love that he showed back up with being the Soul Stone Guardian. I love that villain. I thought that was a good one. So that would be my number 2, and my number 1 is actually the most recent entry into the MCU, and that would be the High Evolutionary.
Oh shit! Yeah, that is.
I think he is the best villain we've seen in the MCU. He was horrifying, no redeeming qualities.
Nope.
You loathed every moment he was on, and that is what you want out of a villain. He made you emote strongly against him.
That guy acted his ass off.
Acted his butt off to the point where I would be okay if they changed directions and made him the great big villain of the rest of the phase.
Since Kang is the actor's problematic.
Yeah, hey, say he's actually a Kang variant. Flip it on its flip the script. He's a Kang variant. Move on from there, and the future Kangs are played by that actor because he is ridiculous.
He does kill it. He does, and you hate, like you said, every second you see him, you just hate him.
Yeah.
He's a true narcissist. That's what's scary about him. He sees no fault in anything he did. I mean, it's just I get it. That's a good one.
So honorable mentions to Thanos and Killmonger.
Well, yeah, I mean those are guy. It's hard to be like Thanos is the best villain. Well, yeah, of course, because he carried an entire arc and arc and arc and arc on his back. And Killmonger is great. Michael B. Jordan, great actor, really was.
Yeah.
Got to see him again too.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. That was a surprise.
Yeah, cool moment.
Mm-hmm. You guys want to? Anybody into anything? Watching anything?
I've been playing the hell out of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's pretty much my entire existence right now from not working. It's a massive game, and that's pretty much it.
I took a hit in the name of a strong relationship, and I spent the last several weeks watching Suits. So, glad that's over.
I didn't know what the hell he was about to say.
I didn't either. I was like, man.
What?
Did Justin get pegged? Like, what's going on?
That's not where my mind went, but okay.
God almighty.
What? That's irrational.
So I've caught up on The Bear. That was a show that these guys recommended to me for a year. I didn't give it a chance, and then I did. And it's brilliant. It's fantastic. Also, cannot recommend the show Reservation Dogs enough.
Oh my God!
God, it's probably my top 5 shows of all time.
Are you caught up on this season?
Not this season, not yet. I have to wait on my wife to watch it because we watch it together. But that show is so good,
dude.
You've got to watch that show.
You really do.
It's just so good.
They show
so real.
Yeah, I mean, personally, having family members who are indigenous peoples who have actually experienced some of the things that they went through, I'm not like, oh, Cherokee, nah, fuck that. But like great grandmothers and stuff like that who actually grew up, it's amazing. They show teenagers growing up on reservations and things like that, and the kind of
which are the poorest communities in the nation.
Yeah.
In this country.
The apathy that they feel, the idea that they're not going to have
screw them Indians for centuries. Let's just keep doing it.
But it's an amazing show. It's darkly comedic, and I mean real.
So funny sometimes. But gosh, it's so funny.
But it really does tell you.
Yes, I mean to get off on the tangent. Anybody looking forward to anything?
This Thursday, all of us are going to see Blue Beetle. If you watched this show before, I'm a huge DC guy, and we need a win. Yeah. So go see it.
This one looks really good. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm really hoping that this kind of taps into that community vibe that Black Panther did, that ended up making them $1 billion. I really hope we see that. I love the kid that's playing Jaime Reyes. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because it's got X's in it, and I know I will mess it up. But I like him, and I think he's going to be great in the role. I hope they get into the whole Legend of Ted Kord and everything. It seems like they're going to.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I think already I can tell that there's going to be some tropes we're going to have problems with. The villain seems to be just the evil version of what he is, which is getting old at this point.
Well, I read that they filmed post-production since the movie was mostly done when James Gunn stepped in. James Gunn was apparently a part of things earlier than we thought. They just didn't announce it till later. But they did film like 4 after-credit scenes.
I have been burned by this news before. And then I got George fucking Clooney at the end of Flash. So
I don't think we get to count it.
We
can't count the Flash.
We were told that they had gone to reshoots and it was going to tie into the new DCU. Then they give us George Clooney, the worst Batman.
You imagine how bad the Batgirl movie was to where they gave us Flash still and then they scrapped Batgirl. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You've got the Mummy fella out there trying to say, "Oh, it was going to be great," and he just can't. He just won an Oscar. He's got to be going, thank the good Lord and baby Jesus. This movie isn't coming out.
Right. Sweet tiny baby Jesus in your manger.
8 pounds, 12 ounces.
It's a big baby Jesus. It's a fat baby Jesus.
I always think of Jesus with the wings of an eagle.
I think of an on stage lead singer for Leonard Skinner.
T-shirt.
And he pulls me up on stage.
Watch Talladega Nights.
Yeah, I
Step out Mountain Dew. Come at you like a spider monkey.
I'm the Magic Man.
I think we could wrap it up, man.
Yeah, this is probably it. Now you see me.
Shake it, baby.
All right. Well, we're just going to sit here and quote movies for the next couple hours, but we will let y'all go. Like an episode of Suits.
Actually, yeah.
Has it been that bad? Is it that bad?
No, there's a lot of movie quotes.
There's a lot of movie quotes. The only thing that kept me going was, oh, I know that quote. Like,
all right, let's wrap it up here, folks.
Yes, the plot of the show in the first 5 minutes. It's the same. Every conversation that's completely innocuous and has nothing to do with the case at hand. And then someone says something and goes, wait, what'd you say? And then it makes him come up with in his house for lawyers.
Might be touching this one. He's not wrong. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen.
I need Blue Beetle to be good.
We appreciate you tuning in tonight with CNA.
Out of this abyss.
We're going to just drag him out. Thank you for tuning in. CNA, we're here all weekend. Check out the website. You know what to do. Hit that like button or whatnot. I don't even know what we're doing.
You know, it's always good to come talk to us at CNA about everything geeky because it's a good time to be alive and be a nerd. So get out there and do something nerdy.
We'll be at Alabama Comic Con next month.
Yes.
Ron Pearl.
Oh, my penis is asleep.
Oh boy, that's the last thing they'll hear.